I read one manga one shot from every genre. This was not good. The genres we're gonna look at are sports, isekai, action adventure, comedy, fantasy, romance, mystery, sci-fi, psychological, horror, and slice of life. Starting off with our sports section, we have The Human by Hamayan. Starts out with a dad who is an Olympic level runner. It's 2036 and doping has been unrestricted from the Olympics, which leads to people who are now called inhumans. These people are faster, stronger, and basically better humans. So later in the story you'll find out there's inhuman Olympics. What Mike wants to do is beat them without taking any drugs. That's the whole premise of the story. There's like a training arc, extremely random, mediocre. Now I firmly believe that if this was really fleshed out, at least like to even 10 chapters, it would be a solid 6.5 out of 10. It's very uninformative. I don't recommend this. I give it a 4.5 out of 10. Okay, next we have isekai. Wanna let it be known that I don't like isekai. So I read Deadline Summoner by Takemaru Inui. Wow, this is some slop. This is about a high school kid, obviously, who's put into a fantasy world as a summoner, and all he wants to do is get back home. He's a typical half-naked summon who adds nothing to the story. Oh wait, there is no story. This is the most random, corny, joke type of, I don't know, it seems like it's trying to be episodic, but it's a one-shot, so it's just kind of bad. Listen, I want to go over the story, but the only thing I picked up is that he wants to leave. This little summon has almost a story, but then just it evolves into she likes him, and it makes it very clear that she wants to procreate with him. Listen, please do not read this. I mean, even if you like isekai, I don't think you can pick out a story in this whole thing. Please don't read this. 2 out of 10. 1 out of 10. Next one we're looking at is action and adventure. So I have Dr. Psyche by Chihiro. It's about a girl named Mi, and her older brother is sick with a disease that she does not know and doctors don't know. So she resorts to asking a controversial supernatural doctor named Dr. Psyche. This one was almost good. They unfortunately push romance when they're on the adventure to find the cure. It's unfortunately a victim of Japan's legal age of consent. Would I recommend this? I personally would not recommend it, but I wouldn't really see people hating it. It's a solid 5 out of 10. I wouldn't recommend it. Next up is our comedy section, and I have Hell Task by Miura Sachiro. It's about a village being attacked by apostles, which are just monsters. There's a mysterious kid whose name is Bosuke, basically comes and sweeps the apostles, like one-shot type of levels. Basically what I get from this is he's sort of like Saitama. It seems like this could be like a single chapter from One Punch Man. This is like a bad chapter from One Punch Man. His goal is to get eggs, which Saitama does to get kale and whatnot, and then he just one-shots the bad guys, and that's practically the whole story. I do recommend this because the art is good, and the art reminds me very much of Kentaro Miura, which is Berserk. I would give it a 5.8 to 6 out of 10. Do recommend it though. Next is fantasy, and I went with Akira Toriyama's Sandland. Now, this is a big step up from the others story-wise. I mean, I'm not surprised because it is Akira. Pretty much the story, it's set in the future where water is scarce because there's war, and the only sources are controlled by the king. We're following Beelzebub, his assistant thief, and a human named Rao. They're suspicious of Rao because obviously demons don't like humans, humans don't like demons. He knew of a lake they were inclined to accept because Rao finds out that demons don't kill humans, especially now where they need water too. So there's a twist in the beginning where they find out that he was a commander of the king, and wrongly killed innocent people. He thought he was doing it because the quote-unquote innocent people were creating a nuclear bomb type of thing, but they weren't. It was a water hole because everyone was running out of water. This is honestly a very wholesome story and a wholesome cast. It's really fun, and I would definitely recommend this. I give it a 7.1 out of 10. Next, we have romance. Now, I don't necessarily have a soft spot for romance at all. I read My Wife Whom I Love Dearly by Toryumon Takeda. This is about a man whose wife was diagnosed with cancer and she was told she has 6 months left to live. But she is not the happy, very kind woman that he remembers marrying, and he starts thinking some bad thoughts. Now, you can obviously see how this would be a touching story, but it's like 30 pages long, and it's really hard to feel the extent of the actual situation this guy's in. Has a good twist, but I do think you should read this. It's interesting, and I would give it a 6.8 out of 10. Next is mystery, and I picked The Enigma of Amigara Fault, and this is by none other than Junji Ito. After an earthquake in Japan, there is a fault found in the Amigara mountain, which is where the earthquake happened. You follow a man named Awaki and a woman named Yoshida meet each other after figuring out what happened with the fault, and they hear voices and find human-sized holes in the mountain. Now, I want to preface that I have not read much of Junji Ito. I do like the stuff I've read, but I personally don't think this was a super interesting story, and I know it's a short, but I've read better one-shots from him. I kind of wanted it to be a sleeper, but it is really just alright. I mean, I guess I'd recommend it. It's like, what, 20 pages, but I'll give it like a 6 out of 10, and would honestly love to be recommended some sleepers by him in the comments. Now, nearing the end, we have sci-fi, and I have Amon Game by Atsuya Uki. This is about aliens. They come to play a game on Earth, but they're very large and destructive. So a boy accidentally gets caught in between it and gets an Amon attached to him, which is basically this little like alien chip. It gives you telekinetic power. A girl with the same power helps him deal with it. It's pretty hard to understand what's happening, to be honest. It kind of reminds me of Chainsaw Man's fights, where it's just like kind of scribbles. It's too short, and I wouldn't usually say this, but there is too much fighting and not enough explaining or talking. I don't think I'll recommend it, but it could pique your interest if you like fight slot manga, honestly. I rated a 5 out of 10. Next up is Psychological, and I have Semi-Eternal Happy End by Shu Machida. The story is about a girl who's in high school named Nanako Kobayashi, and she's ugly. Her phone starts ringing, and then she picks up and gets a 2-part question. Very philosophical question. Then, a demon takes the form of her teddy bear, and then grants her 3 wishes. This is an interesting plot to me, but the main character is pretty boring and has a very common bullied kid trope. I was bullied, so I'm gonna, kill people and then rebel. I think it suffers from being too short, of course, and I think that if it was fleshed out a little, again, it would be more interesting. I do recommend it, but it is solidly mid. I give it a 5.8 out of 10. Second to last, we have Horror with Hideout by Masasumi Kakizaki. Now, I've heard very good things about this. They were not wrong. This is interesting. It's about a writer named Seiichi Kirishima, and he has trouble finding work and making ends meet. He has an idealistic wife who does not see the work he does truly. But one day his wife is out shopping, and his son is getting laundry on the balcony, and slips off and dies. Everyone blames him, his wife included, because he was home when it happened. So, he sets up a vacation, him and his wife, but she doesn't know the purpose of it. He's there to kill her and hide her body so he can start anew. His death is ruining their family. Unfortunately, this does not go to plan. This is a good manga. I think it's a very interesting plot, but it kind of makes stuff too gory, which also just makes it kind of harder to see, like literally harder to see what's happening in it. The ending could have probably been better, but I do honestly think it's a very interesting story. Art is fantastic. He made Green Blood and Rainbow, which are very good as well. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Last, we have Slice of Life, and I have The Gods Lie by Kaori Ozaki. I've heard good things about this before I read it, so I did have high expectations, and they were fulfilled. I'm not much for romances, like I said earlier, but this was a very wholesome romance. So this is a story about an 11-year-old boy named Natsuro Nanao who likes soccer. His father passed away of cancer, so he really wants to push to become a better soccer player. His coach, though, got cancer and is in the hospital, so he sort of disassociates towards just soccer as a whole, leads him to meet a girl named Rio Suzumara, and it changes his perspective and life forever. I think this is emotional story, very, very good. I really don't want to spoil it, and I think you should read it today. I give it a 7.8 out of 10. If you've made it this far, thank you, and subscribe. Also, it's my first video, so let me know where I can improve.